Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm Dr. Stephen Cain. I help people with peripheral neuropathy get out of pain and back to doing the things that they love doing. One of the ways that I help you do this is by connecting you with the right people, products, and services that can all help you get better. So today we are very lucky to be joined by Dean S. Lewis. He's a life coach specializing in dealing with medical trauma, a health coach specializing in weight management. He's a co-coordinator of the Neuropathy Support Group of Northern New Jersey, married, father of 2 boys, and has a very interesting story about his own experience with neuropathy and how he overcame it. So thank you very much for joining us, Dean.
Yes, Steve, thank you so much for allowing me to share with your patients, and so it's a privilege to be here.
Awesome, right on. So let's get right into your story. Can you tell people about your experience with neuropathy and how you got yourself better?
Yes, so my experience with neuropathy began 20 years ago in 1998, and it's due to a result of a critical illness that I had, and basically, I woke up in the hospital, and sort of not knowing where I was, and I attempted to move, and just a surprise to me, I couldn't. So you know, the doctors, after running some tests, um, realized that I had developed severe peripheral neuropathy, and this was just a normal illness, but with just some underlying hereditary conditions I had. It just went down really fast. So that's how I ended up in the hospital for 3 months. And this is what caused my neuropathy and a few other residual conditions. But the neuropathy has been one of the, the, the biggest, and it's affected my life, um, you know, in a big way, because I've had to change what I did for a living. I studied to be a clinical lab scientist. I couldn't do that anymore, and neuropathy. It's another condition that's been, you know, really, I say, in the national spotlight. However, it's a condition that affects, you know, over 100 million individuals in the world and over 20 million in North America.
So
So,
why do you think that is? Because that boggles my mind too. Like Alzheimer's, like in this country, USA, 5 million people have it or so. Everyone knows what it is, but Alzheimer's is more than 20, or I mean, peripheral neuropathy, more than 20 million people have it, but most people don't know what it is unless they have it or they know someone that has it. Well, why do you think that is?
well, I think it's just a fact that neuropathy, and this is my individual opinion. Um, you know, a lot of people, they don't want to really publicize that, hey, listen, I have this condition, and this is based on experience and people I've spoken with, and it's basically, I would say, a condition that coexists with other conditions. For example,
Mm-hmm.
diabetics are the subset of the population that are affected the most by neuropathy.
Mm-hmm.
So most times, they, the endocrinologist, or the primary physician treating the diabetes, okay, because that's the focus.
Uh-huh.
But yet, the diabetic is having so much pain, so much tingling, inability to sleep at times because of the pain, because of the underlying neuropathy that has, have come into play
Mm-hmm.
because of the diabetes not being managed properly.
Right.
And then so so again, it's like this secondary condition that doesn't get the focus. However, it's getting some publicity right now, because as the medical community realizing that, what, it's very debilitating, and it is increasing. So that's the reason, there's been a push. The Foundation for Peripheral Neuropathy has been doing a really good job at bringing awareness, and it's a lot of people they're not afraid to say, hey, this is what I have too, because It's affecting a lot of people. It's affecting the caregivers also.
Yeah.
And another condition that cancer.
Yeah.
I think that's the second largest groups of individuals that are affected because of it's actually the chemotherapy induced
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
peripheral neuropathy because the nervous system, it's unfortunate that you and I know, you know, at times, chemotherapy is needed, you know, that's needed. And if you do that, there are the risks, and the benefits. One of the risks, peripheral neuropathy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey,
So, yeah, go ahead.
I was hoping to. Sorry, I kind of steered us off the wrong track. I want to get more of your story, and so you wake up in the hospital, you can't move, you have
Yeah.
a hereditary reason behind it, and then let's come back to your story in terms of recovery and what you learned and how you got yourself better.
Yeah. So, my story, it's basically I had to take a step back. It's okay. So I have to deal with this. This is what's going to be the rest of my life. And being that I had some experience um, with regards to studying the human body and my clinical lab sciences degree, I was like, let me take stock of what's there, what's working, and give it some time. So um, the I love the medical team because my body was so destroyed with the whole illness. We had to work at rebuilding. So nutrition was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, physical therapy. I couldn't walk. Um, I had to have surgery to sort of realign my femur, my hips as much as they could.
Mm-hmm.
So this physical therapy, the nutrition, and basically, I don't know if you've seen this, but for me, one thing that hit me at 25 years old, I was a young guy just starting out. The emotional aspect of it that hit me like a ton of bricks because I wasn't able to say to go to work. I had to depend on others, and I was in a funk. I was depressed for a bit, and but after got through that also. I got through being angry, you know, just had to go through all the stages, of sort of grief and accepting what was there, and then I decided, okay, you know what, I had to be an integral part in my life now in recovery and learning what I had to do. So, I used, I don't know if you're familiar with, just, neural pathways of really trying to rebuild neural pathways. I would go through, what I used to do. Like one of my things when I was in the hospital, I would recount in my mind, of driving my car. I love to drive. I love a manual transmission and all the steps that you do, changing the gears and moving their feet and clutch and everything, I recounted, hours of driving
Uh-huh.
because
Uh-huh.
I had to help my body, I had to help my nerves and everything to get back together. So I did the the typical way with medicines, and I did Neurontin. Um, I did amitriptyline, but I had to stop that because it was causing tachycardia.
Uh-huh.
But mostly was Neurontin, and I also had to do for the other musculoskeletal problems that I had, a lot of pain medications like Vicodin and so forth, and but after that, I tell you, it was a big thing was mindset. I had to start with the mindset, redesigning redesigning what I had to do with my life and focus on nutrition, reducing my stress levels.
Uh-huh.
So meditation was a big thing. You know um, Massage, and I remember too. It was after a year afterwards. Another big aspect for me too was I saw a chiropractor, which is and her practice was I really love the practice because in the practice with the chiropractic modalities, they also had massage, which was recommended by my therapist before, physical therapist. So had the massage like 3 times a week, plus being adjusted, I think 2 to 3 times a week, and also that also helped to my body to heal even faster, and also helped, I believe, the nerves to get the nourishment and the what they need to really get to the point where they got to, where I got some you know my life back, and I got my mobility as much as I could, because I had foot drop. I used the cane for a bit, but yeah, it was hard work, but you know, in order to have some semblance of a productive life, I had to do it. And I tell you something, Steve, you know, weight bearing exercises at the gym, becoming stronger really helped me to become even more independent.
Awesome. That's cool. So you took the holistic approach. You did exercise, physical therapy, good nutrition. You visualized it, meditation. You got manual therapies and chiropractic and massage. So that's great, because that's exactly the how I approach it and encourage other people to, is take that whole everything that you can do to get your nerves better. Because I feel like so many people are trying, hoping just one supplement or just one diet or just one therapeutic device or medication is going to be the cure, the answer, the solution. And that's the exact story that I'm really trying to share more of, is that you do everything, the holistic approach for getting yourself better. So that's awesome. How long did it take you to get better? Like, what percent improvement would you say you reached?
Uh, I would say, and it's difficult because, for example, I have CIDP, and for those who don't know what that is, that's chronic inflammatory. It's a long word. Demyelinating polyneuropathy, and basically, it's a, as it states, it's a lot happening in that that condition.
Hmm.
It's inflammation. There's a lot of inflammation that is going on in my body, and I do follow an anti-inflammatory diet. Um, but that's part of it. And inflammation is not good,
All right.
to have chronically. This is there, and for the users, the viewers who are not aware or knowledgeable of this, the nerves have insulation.
Right.
So in CIDP, the insulation is slowly, being removed, and that too, it is also immune system response with that too. So it's I think it's one of the for me, it's one of the trickiest sort of neuropathy, and it needs you know it's a it's a it's chronic condition, so it needs a lifelong attention, that I can't just put it on the shelf and say, okay, I'm doing this, so I don't have to take care of this aspect of it.
Hmm.
So what I after 18 years, I realized I'm managing the pain and so forth with the holistic approaches. I decided that, okay, you know what, let me give IVIG a chance,
Uh-huh.
and so that's the immunoglobulin infusions, and that what that has done for me also.
Hmm.
It's has given some feeling, a little more feeling to to one part of the body, but as you know, in neuropathy, it's so complicated.
Right.
That I may have one part of my foot that, okay, that was has been numb for the last 19 years. I'm like, oh, I'm beginning to feel a little bit more. But with my neuropathy, oh, I'm beginning to feel a little more. So then what happened? I feel the tingling.
Okay.
So I feel the tingling more, and I feel the other part, other sensory parts, you know. But listen, I tell you something. I deal with everything that comes, and I do my best to have a positive attitude about it. And I practice gratitude every day. I tell you that that's one of the magic pill right there,
Oh,
because
that's
it reframes your mind. It reframes how you see things. That's what it does for me.
Yeah, fantastic. So what overall, what percent improvement would you say you were able to realize? I mean, how much strength, coordination, reduction in pain, tingling were you able to get?
All right, so I have flare-ups, but I'll say in terms of the of mobility and strength, you know, my goodness, I'd say at one time the prime time I was like at 80% improvement, and I think even my strength at 18 years ago, my strength was really like I think I was stronger than I before I went in the hospital. Of course, I was because of I was under the supervision of some experts in their field,
Right.
So and being of course in my 20s, that helped also,
Yeah, yeah.
so in around I'd say for me around between um, 2 to 5 years I really I was at my best,
Uh-huh.
2 to 5 years, and and up until I think 2010, so I was around 12 years after having um, developed neuropathy.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty good, but then as as I aged, you know, you start realizing you have to really do more to maintain,
Right.
and so now it's I'm at a different phase in life. I'm in my mid 40s, so the doctors told me like 20 years ago, it's like, hey, you have the body of someone. At the time, I was 25. So you have the body right now of someone in their 60s. You know, So I feel I'm feeling a lot more. As I age, but as right here I'm talking to you, and I'm full of energy. My smile is there. It doesn't mean that I don't go through this pain or that pain. No, it doesn't mean that. But we can still thrive with this, no matter how difficult it may be. And this is why I approach it, Steve, with a whole
Mm-hmm.
mind and body approach, so that you can really enjoy life. You can spend time with your family and enjoy the moments. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about moments by moments.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? After I enjoy time with the family, I go home. I'm like, wow, that's wonderful. But then, of course, I feel the as evening gets on, you may feel a little bit more the tingling, more the pain. But you know, the good thing is having the steps to in order to live the life you want to live, and to really mitigate the effects of the pain and so forth.
That's beautiful, man. I can see how you'd be really an ideal person for the neuropathy support group that you work at. So I can tell they're lucky to have that sort of guidance and leadership. And yeah, I hope you can share more of that. I mean, I'm helping you out right now by sharing it with my community and do my best to get it out there. So yeah, I really I feel passionate as well that this is the message that people need to get. So, where would people go to get more of this, or to learn more from you, or do you have a website, or how would people
Yes,
found?
I can be found on Facebook, dlewis dash overcoming neuropathy, and I also have a website, livingwithperipheralneuropathy.com, and that's where I've shared some information regarding peripheral neuropathy. But the main place I interact is on the fan page, or some people on my personal page will connect with me there. That's where you can find me. And the best thing to send me an email, dlewis, lewis at livingwithperipheralneuropathy.com, and I communicate with people, via of course Google Plus, Hangouts, and now my Skype is back in place. So yeah, that's how I communicate.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'll put links for all of these in the
Yes.
description for YouTube, so it should make it make it easier for people to get to it. Um,
The thing is, I want to share something too with people. You know, you know, and you know what? Maybe at the end I'll share that because I really wrap things up. So I'm sorry
Okay.
to cutting there, but go ahead.
Sure, sure. So maybe this is feeding into it or not, but what do you feel are some of the most important things that people with peripheral neuropathy need to know, or things they need to do to help themselves get better?
Well, you know what? I think when you discover you have the neuropathy, take a step back. Take a step back to really, and find out, what it is. Learn about it, and find out, what it is that's going on, the best way to manage it, and don't close yourself off to new things. You know, we're every day, the medical field, you know, the holistic, community. It's so much learning, so much new things. And I think when I'm not sure you're aware, I wrote a book, peripheral neuropathy, 9 simple steps to reduce the pain. You know, something can be simple but not easy.
Right.
you know, it's simple but not easy. You have to do some work, even with something simple. And when I wrote that book, it was received well by a lot of people. But some people are like, "Oh, how can meditation? How can a walk in the sunlight and just appreciating the day? How can that help?" And you know, and then 10, 15 years later, we're seeing, there's studies from reputable people and institutions saying, hey, this is what you need to do. So, and, you know, years earlier, that's what I did. So be open to new, developments of what can help, and, and,
Uh-huh.
and try it. Try it for, as per the clinician that's treating you, and see how it is. If it doesn't work, then your clinician can say, okay, let's try something else. But always be open. Be open to you getting better. So that's one thing that I really like to implore on the listeners.
Okay. Fabulous. I love it. All right. So any final words for the viewers? How do you want to wrap things up here?
So, one thing I wanted to just let there just is that take time. Get used to the new you, and really design your life. Design your life to work with neuropathy. Because for some, depending on what it is, you remove the cause,
Hmm.
maybe with eating better, or if Guillain-Barré syndrome, you take care of that, you may have a marked decrease of your symptoms. But for others, it may be dealing with these symptoms for the rest of your life. Could be high, could be low, and it can be managed. But definitely design your life so include fun, spend time with family. If you need help, emotionally, see a therapist. There's 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 no stigma with that. You
Uh-huh.
know, I tell people, you go see a therapist. It's just like you call a friend and talk to them. Only thing that you're paying the therapist. It's the same thing. They're trained how to help you.
Yeah.
So just really lighten up with life. And listen, I'm not saying that pain is easy and so forth. It's not hard. Yes, it is. But if we can really switch our focus and really and learn to use that, we won't be as bogged down. And trust me, listen, sometimes I have screamed out before. I've let it out. I really pushed on that chest press machine because but find ways to release that pain, and just really appreciate what's around you, with your life.
That's beautiful, Dean.
Yeah.
I really like that. I'm really glad we got to do this interview, and you've definitely put out a message and a vibe that people really need to hear that have peripheral neuropathy. So thank you very much for doing this with us, and thank you to all our listeners here for joining. And I really cannot encourage the listeners here to reach out to Dean. He's definitely there to help. He's gone through the experience himself. He's a coach trained and being able to help people with this condition. He's a neuropathy support group leader, so he's very much a qualified person to help you with what you're looking for help with. All right, so thank you very much for joining us on this interview, everyone. And my final message is just to stay relentless, similar to what Dean was saying, is just be open to new things, try new things. There's really an infinite number of things out there that could potentially help you out. So just keep trying them all, try the different combinations, and eventually you'll find something that does help you feel better. So thanks for joining, everyone. We will see you in the next video.